Hi, I'm Keith Allen, and I play Murphy on Z Nation, and I listen to One Up Gaming Podcast.
Up next on the One Up Gaming Podcast is 10 minutes of nothing. Will it be the team talking about nothing or a guest interview? Stick around and find out now. It's 10 minutes of nothing. Yeah, 10 minutes of nothing.
I guess it's still here. I guess we're still here. I'm getting sticking to the back of this chair. It's still very warm. I have a really bad sore throat. I don't know how you get a cold in summer, but anyway. So we're going to go through the 10 minutes of nothing on the One Up Game Podcast, episode 399. And this week we're going to talk about the Sony's Spider-Man Universe movies. And basically, if you don't know, 10 minutes of nothing is we just select a topic or something to discuss, and then we talk about that topic for 10 minutes. And if we go over the 10 minutes, the 10-minute time will stop, and then we stop the conversation and move on with the rest of the show. It's just a way to stop us from nattering on for hours and hours about nothing, because we first of all started our podcast, and I think we spoke to John Hare, and we were on for like 2.5, 3 hours, and it was like, yeah, we need to drop this down a wee bit. No one needs us on for that amount of time. No one wants to hear me, stupid Yorkshire accent, talking away for 3 hours. Half an hour is at a push, and I mean that's a real push. So yeah, so Spider-Man, Sony Universe, we'll go into it. So timer starts now. Got hiccups now. So yeah, so if people don't know, the Sony Spider-Man universe, at the moment that entails Venom 1, Venom 2, Morbius, Madam Web, and I guess Kraven the Hunter will be out soon, and also the Venom 3 will be out soon. I say soon, like next sort of like 6 months or so, 5-6 months, something like that. And now, don't get me wrong, Venom was a 7 out of 10 movie. Venom 2 was getting down to like the 5s. Morbius I actually liked better than Venom 2, so I'd say that was a 6. I've recently just watched Madam Web, and that, my friends, is a 3, and that's being generous. Nothing happened in the whole movie, and it was just people stood talking for 2 hours, and nothing happened. It was the worst movie I've seen for a very, very long time, and it's one of those movies that you watch and you think, how the hell did this get green lit? How the hell did Sony executives read this and think, that makes a compelling movie? That makes a great movie. I just feel as though the whole movie was just crap. I just don't understand how they made this movie. I really don't. And the last one on the list, it'll be like the Kraven the Hunter. And that's been ready to release for over a year now, and it's going to be delayed like another 6 months. So it's been ready to go for like 18 months. And it's just like, what the hell is going on? Either Sony know this movie is an absolute joke and are just scared to release it. They're either cutting out all the Spider-Man mentions and just releasing it as Kraven the Hunter. And like, oh look, it's kind of a Spider-Man in its own world, yay. Or they're going to double down and add more Spider-Man bits into it because it's crap. I hope not, because I don't mind watching just random crappy little movies. But I have limits. And Madam Web it didn't just cross that line, it stamped its feet on that and just, it was bad. It's the worst thing I've seen in years. I mean, Morbius, yes, it gets all the bad sort of like shit on it. It's got really bad CG, it's got really bad fight scenes, it's got really bad acting sometimes. But the movie made sense. It plodded along. It was quite decent. It had action sequences in. More Venom. I really think they should have redubbed the Venom talking bit, because the synthesizing voice that they've got on the Venom, I just found it so difficult to listen to Venom. And then I think the second one was even worse, and it was just no idea what the fuck was going on. No idea. But I think the Venom movies kind of looked better, but that's because Venom is set like at night nearly all the time, and it's much easier to do CG animation and effects when it's like dark. You can mask everything a lot easier. But yeah, when you think about it, they've had they've released 3 movies, and one of them's a 7, and the rest are 5 and under. And then they've got another couple of movies coming out this year. As I say, Venom 3 and Kraven the Hunter. Is that the only good sort of Sony Spider-Man movies that they've released? Is the animated ones. I think they've had 2 so far. They were really good. But yeah, these movies are diabolical. Absolutely diabolical. It's just... I just imagine these were written and sort of directed back in the year 2000. They just don't feel like a modern day action romp like a lot of these newer movies are. It just feels very stale, very sedate. The animation's horrible. It looks bad. The scripts just don't make sense. The acting are just terrible. And I just don't understand how people at Marvel, or Sony I should say, have read these scripts and have like, oh yeah, that sounds like a really good, compelling 2 hours. We'll make that. And then they get in there, and then they see the actors, they see them getting directed and getting sort of like recorded. And they're still like, oh, this looks amazing. It's going to be like a proper top tier movie, this. And then they get the early builds of the movies with like the CG and stuff. And they're like, oh, it's a bit slow. But I'm sure if we put another $200 million worth of animations and CG effects into this, it'll be a top tier movie. It'll be amazing. And then they get the movie all fully finished, all fully done. And then they watch it and they're like, yeah, it's pretty crap. But I'm sure it'll still do really well. It'll make us millions. And then the movie comes out. Venom did really well. I think Morbius broke even, in the end. It might have even made money. Madam Web was a disaster. I could have sworn they said it was like 100 million, 200 million to make. And it is just an absolute train wreck of a movie. It is so, so bad. I had no idea who this Madam Web was. I had no idea who these Spider Women were. You don't really get to see any of the Spider Women. All the Spider Women are just in the main villain's head when he's getting killed off him. And it's just 3 minutes of a 2 hour movie where they're in their costume. It is just horrendous. It really, really is horrendous. I can't tell you how bad the bloody movie was. It was so bad. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have hopes for Kraven the Hunter because I enjoyed him in the cartoon series, but I just don't know. I really, really don't know. I just don't understand how these things get done and how Sony and execs can look at these and get them sort of done. So, while we've got time, I'll mention, please stream or buy our album, Games Inspired Music, available now. 20% of each sale will go to the Child's Play charity. We have 3 coffee table books available. Just go to Amazon, any of the Amazon stores, so US, UK, French, any of them, and just search the unofficial Sega Saturn collection the unofficial PlayStation collection, and the unofficial, I was going to say Xbox, but the unofficial Nintendo 64 collection. Please buy them. And yeah, it's amazing how we can do bits and bobs. I'm going to stop the timer. I'm not going to talk for 10 minutes about these shit movies. They are horrendous. Sony, get your act together. I don't know how the hell you've managed to release all these movies. They're appalling. But yeah, so episode 399 of One Up Gaming Podcast. David here, One Up Gaming. Thank you all. And we'll be back with the goodbyes. So back in a couple of seconds.